You can catch me in the cherry van.
In the late 90s, there was an MC around that came under the wings of my man Joey Crack. You know, this cat, he was a heavyweight dude, but he was extremely lethal. Certain people let him creep into their top 10, even their top 5, but a lot of people didn't know about him, that he was extremely lethal lyricist. His name was Big Pun, the Punisher. Welcome back to Guard Your Grill Boxing. Got my man Coltrane.
Rizza, aka all.
There's your man Sleep. And we paying homage to Paul the Punisher Williams,
aka the Hammer and Hank Jr., aka Julio Cesar Chavez, aka Sweet Pea, aka
according to
Max Kellerman, you know,
aka
Tommy Hearns,
aka the Bull Shark. This guy terrorizes divisions from 147
double up to the body,
all the way up, and the Bull Shark, as you know, terrorizes waters from salt to fresh.
You know what my famous, what was the epitome of Paul Williams' career was yelled by his trainer Peterson. Keep working. Keep working.
he's on toothpicks.
Yeah, don't let him rest.
Toothpicks.
And that's what he do.
Look that body.
Listen, man, Verno Phillips, like I told y'all, he's a tough, savvy veteran type of fighter, hard nosed. If that was like any other younger fighter, he probably would have frustrated him off the cut. And you know,
shout out to Corey Spinks.
Shout out to Corey Spinks, but they just don't make fighters like Paul Williams no more. Yeah. Other than our dude Antonio Margarito,
right?
Who keeps coming.
But this
more slickness.
This is a different type of vehicle.
Different type of vehicle,
right? It's a different type. Whereas Antonio Margarito is a Hummer, Paul is that range.
Wow.
Paul is that range because Paul is going
supercharger.
He's the supercharger. He's going over the mountain.
Right.
He's maneuvering on a whole nother level like that hovercraft. I don't know how many people pushing ranges.
Go look it up.
I don't like to pull a key out, but you know what I'm saying? He got the hydraulics in there. He got a lot of different styles with his, man. So that's why I'm breaking them down.
What impressed you most about Paul Williams?
And I'm gonna tell you right now, the thing about it is Paul is sort of like a mutant to me.
Right.
I've never seen somebody so big that can fight in the pocket.
Like a little guy.
Exactly.
He fights like he's our size.
Exactly.
You talking about the liver shots from
the liver shot.
Exactly.
6 inches away.
Exactly. You expect somebody that tall to be utilizing the jab, keeping somebody, you know, abreast, keeping him by a far away, keeping him away with his reach. He like, you know what? I'm fighting all up in you. This is phone booth style.
If you watch the fight, he had to make the adjustment because I gave Verno the first round.
Yeah,
what's the name didn't?
I gave him a couple rounds.
Okay, Jim didn't give him the first round. I gave Verno the first round, and what he did, Paul had problems finding him with the jab, and he was all setting his timing just like what's the name did. Well, Quintana did. Right. And then Paul made a keen adjustment, and he started working his body, especially after he got cut. You would think he was going to panic because he was getting hit. Like, Paul's legs stiffened up a little bit. Like, at the end of the first round, I was like, man, he's getting caught. But he took his time, took a deep breath, and started working his way from the top up.
That's what I'm
a true fighter.
I was going to say, the sign to me of a great fighter is one who fights every fight different. Right. You know, he had, like Sleep said, he adjusted to Verno Phillips' style. And what I was mostly impressed with is how he sat down on his punches and how he went to the body. You know, like so many young fighters, they try to hit hunt all night, and that's not how you beat or slow down a fighter. And that fight pretty much was over once Paul started attacking Verno Phillips' body. He probably never been hit in his body like that. This dude never been stopped.
Before. That's
you know what I'm saying? He never been stopped, and he was doing double ups to the body. And to be quite honest with you, Max's assessment of comparing him to Chavez wasn't that much off because that's how Chavez fought you. Right. He would go to the body and follow you around the whole night, and that's what Paul did. That's the only reason why I drew the Margarito parallels, because both of these dudes, they don't stop coming forward, and that breaks the will of fighter.
The difference between Paul and Chavez, if he runs into another Chavez, he can fight.
He can fight, and that's the difference.
He can fight with angles. He can fight backwards.
Because he fought a totally different fight when he fought Margarito.
People
totally different fight.
People forget because they starting to get used to seeing Paul walk people down. The people who are new to the scene with Paul Williams, you're used to just seeing him walk people down. But if you go back and look at the Margarito fight against someone who applied pressure to him, Paul fought that fight.
He was from
going backwards,
side
to side, angles back.
He was rolling back. He was skating backwards.
Controlling with the jab. So he has a lot of tools in his toolbox, man. I was very impressed.
Yeah, very impressed. You know, so I don't know where he goes from here. You know,
he's all over the place.
He's all over the place.
You know, he could be up 68 and fighting the winner of Tell or Crawford. You know, I mean.
Only question I got at 68 is how he can sustain them type of punches.
Right, that's the question. But Me personally, I do think he probably will end up fighting Margarito, but it might not happen until 2010. Unfortunately,
I don't know, because Margarito might get the glamour box after if he beats Cotto again. You know, and
the money there.
He's going
more money.
But you know what? The other thing is you got to remember something that's sleep. I don't know if I'm taking your point or not, but you know the thing I was thinking about is that even though shout out to Margarito, he's a great fighter. We're not dissing him at all, but. Here's a guy that fought in the trenches for 15 years or so, didn't get any money. He gonna try to get some money now. Yeah, and now he gonna take the safety fights. He gonna take the fights that easier, build more equity, more so than building.
Look at his lineup in 09. It's gonna be Shane, Cotto. So after those,
that's what I'm saying.
After those victories, no disrespect, Cotto fans, but after those 2 victories, he's gonna have carte blanche to fight whoever he wants to fight.
Exactly.
So it's not gonna be. You know, we know he's ducking Paul. You know, it's pretty obvious that he's ducking Paul, but it won't be looked at. You know, if Paul make a lot of noise in that time frame too, then the pressure might be on him. But I don't think he wants any parts. Shout out to Big Mike who talked to him personally. And he said, you know, they don't want no parts of Paul.
You know, the other thing too we got to remember is just the fact that Paul, you know, he could honestly still make some noise in them higher divisions. He really don't have to chase Margarito around. You know, I don't want him to get so caught up in chasing Margarito around.
I don't think it's so much that he's chasing him around. I just think that it's more so. You know, let's solidify who's the greatest fighter at welterweight / 54.
Yeah, I think he'll bounce.
You know what I'm saying? And then he's gonna bounce from there. Let's solidify this. You know, and serve our grudges in the ring.
Right.
But, you know,
but the other thing too is I don't even think we should even get. A lot of fans are mad at Margarito, but I'm not even mad at him because you know he fought Paul. I mean, honestly, once in a while, with this economy, you do want to get some money. Want to get some money now.
It's a recession, everybody, bro.
It's the recession. Shout out to Young Jeezy.
So you know you gotta give him probably.
I could tell from that YouTube clip you sent me with Money Mayweather.
Money May, you know, the hockey bag,
the hockey bag,
30,000.
No, he carried 2 kids. He said it's heavy, like 2 kids is in the bag.
Rolled the Rolls Royce inside the club.
Right, exactly. He started making it rain.
Yeah, Paul though, and
there's a lot of heat at 154. I think he could become a star at 154 because you got. If these other guys get a couple more high-profile fights, and then I think Paul will knock them all off personally, you know, then he's a star at 154. That could be a division of his own.
So it's still a lot of question marks left. You know who he's going to fight.
Right.
You know, I think this is my personal opinion. I do think he's going to end up fighting Margarito. It's going to be probably the biggest Latin versus African American fight since Sugar Ray Leonard fought Durant. That's how I think the fight going to be.
Now,
I'm serious. It's going to build up.
That would probably be the bottom of 09.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I see it.
Depending on how Oscar, because you know Oscar has the ability to just knock your chess pieces off the chess
right.
and like start all over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, depending on where he
wants to.
But he ain't trying to see neither one of them.
But he can do something like step in just to freeze all the negotiations and step out.
Let me ask you a question. I know. Al Heyman is involved in both of them. Who would you take in a fight with Vernon Phillips and Paul Williams?
I'll take Paul. I already told you. Paul Williams outworked Vernon at this stage of his career. He can't. Now, a few years back, that's a different fight. But right now, that's too much work for Vernon.
Okay.
Sergio Moro outworked Vernon. You know what I'm saying? So now he did make adjustments. But Paul Williams ain't no Sergio Moro. As y'all know, Paul was stripped of his belt because he moved up to 54. You know, shout out to TR, you know, aka the IRS, as my dude ROD calls him. Cotto had a fight with the dude Jennings, who was a #1 mandatory for Paul's strap. But Cotto don't want to fight.
Right.
You know, it's some turmoil going on with some of the fighters there in that company. Now, I got my theory. I think the Golden Boy is coming. You know, don't be surprised because they're the new distribution now.
Right.
I told Sleep, they're like Def Jam. They will fund if Cotto Promotions want to get jumped off.
Right.
De La Hoya will get behind it and represent him. You know what I'm saying? That's the new thing. Fighters are getting into their own promotional thing. They peeping, they can pocket their money versus giving the big homie over there a big cut. So be on the lookout for that Cotto thing. And just, you know, it might not materialize, but from what I'm gathering, it don't seem like, you know, he too happy over there.
Chris Arreola versus Travis Walker, 2 up-and-coming heavyweights. Supposed to be another test for Chris Arreola. I saw some things in the first round. The main thing I saw from Chris Arreola, which I saw in the previous fight, is his conditioning, which is very disappointing. And it really makes me look at the mentality of a fighter. I mean, you fought 2, you know, where the last one was on Versus. Well, this was a very high-profile fight for you. You know what I'm saying? And he's not... he's not seem like he's taking his conditioning seriously. Now, if you're gonna get real big, then drop down for your big fight, you know that can have repercussions too. We all know the heavyweight division doesn't have a limit, and some people tend to respect it properly, and some people don't. My man had him in trouble in the first round, and I thought he could have got him out of there if he did not panic.
He got cocky.
He got
cocky and careless.
Yeah. Because if you look at the first round, Travis Walker was establishing.
What was he doing though? That was so basic. It was a 1-2. He was finding with a 1-2.
He was establishing a jab. His speed was giving him problems. But then
Science Week is coming back.
But then when Chris decided to trade with him, in the first round he calmed down and started waiting and countering. You know, then when he got him hurt, he comes out, tries to blaze him out with his head right here like.
But that's why Travis Walker is Travis. No disrespect to Travis Walker. That's why Travis Walker is Travis Walker. Like.